Good morning. Welcome to Code 5 Art. Today is the second episode in a series of Thinking Like an Artist, just general advice on how to level up your game as an artist as if you're just starting, or even if you've been drawing and playing around for a little while, but you want to get a little bit better. So today's lesson is to draw big. Some of the biggest mistakes I see young artists is trying to practice drawing, but always drawing way too small. What you want to do is you want to aim for drawing bigger. Now let me bring up the whiteboard and I'll give you some examples about why drawing big is a big advantage for when you're trying to learn and get better at drawing. All right, cool. So the big two things that drawing big is going to help serve you as an artist is that you want to make sure that you are learning more about details and proportion. And when you draw small, which a lot of young artists end up doing, is that you lose the ability to do that because of that. And my advice is just don't be scared. Just like jump in and make things like big and make mistakes, and that's okay. So for example, if my paper is only this big, sometimes if they're practicing drawing, they'll only draw the smallest thing, and if they try to get any more details, it starts getting more smudged. And one thing that drawing small happens is that even if you make the tiniest mistake, that mistake is blown up 10 times because it represents so much more space. When you embrace drawing bigger, there's so much more that you can play around with. And even if you make a mistake and you make something bigger than you should be, or like some side is like a little bit lumpier than the other, that's okay. The important thing is to practice and learn about the things that you may have done wrong. When you're drawing bigger, you can make these like little fun details. You can get the gloss off the eyes. You can put the little you can do as far as like just drawing pores, and just like you can get so much out of your drawing when you draw bigger and give your space to do that. The other thing is that you can learn better about your own proportions when drawing something. Like the smallness of it can hide how you're doing your proportions of whatever your image is. If you draw big, you can make the mistake of having weird proportions, but making mistakes is how you learn. You shouldn't be scared when trying to draw bigger. It gives you a bigger chance to fail. You can have a really lumpy looking picture and have things look all out of whack, but that's the good part. That's where you get to learn. When you can sit back and you notice that something's way off and it just doesn't line up. When you're done with that drawing, just do the next one. Know where you made a mistake and come back to it and do it better next time. When you're drawing really small, those mistakes can either be hidden or they're hard to correct, especially when you're working with pencil. Is that if you try to erase something, like things start getting smudged, and just the tiniest mistake may ruin 25% of the drawing. Another thing you shouldn't be scared about when it comes to drawing big is the ability to just let it be, just so you can keep your proportions. So if you're going small, you have all these details you can put in, but it starts getting more smudged. So you want to go bigger, but sometimes, as you can see, you may run out of paper. And honestly, that's okay. As long as you keep proportions and not try to scrunch things up, that's going to make your drawing so much better. If things get cut off, then that's just part of the thing. If you don't like it, you can do it next drawing. You can start all over. But you can also just commit too. Let it get cut off, and that's fine. So with this lesson, in summary, there are about 3 things that you can learn about drawing big. One is to have the ability to give yourself details. The bigger you draw, the more you can put into it. The more little details, little accents that you can put into your drawing. 2 is it forces you to keep proportions, whether that be drawing a face and making sure that the eyes are proportional to the mouth or the ears. And the third thing is embracing how much space you've given yourself. Sometimes, as you can see here, you can start off with the C and then realize that if you were to keep all the letters the way they should be, it will go off the page. Honestly, let that happen. Enjoy it. Finish the drawing and keep the proportions as much as you can and let it get cut off. Sometimes that makes the drawing better. All right, that's all I had for today, for today's Thinking Like an Artist. Just draw big or go home. Enjoy the process. Just go out there and create something. And have a good day, guys. All right, thanks for watching.